When the ship stopped moving, I thought the wind had died. I waited for the groan of the sails, the slap of waves against the hull, the shouts from below deck. Nothing came, only silence. A silence so complete it felt louder than any storm I had ever known. I stood alone on the deck, my hands gripping the rail, staring out at an ocean that did not care whether I lived or died. That was the moment I realized something was wrong. Not broken ship wrong. Not storm-damaged wrong. Dead wrong. Because a ship like this is never quiet. Not when it carries hundreds of captured people below. Not when guards pace the deck. Not when breath, fear, and suffering fill the air. But now, nothing. And I was the only one left to hear it. I was never meant to be important. I wasn't a captain. Wasn't an officer. Wasn't even a proper sailor. I cleaned. I carried. I obeyed. That's how I ended up on this ship. Hired cheaply, replaceable, nameless. The kind of man history never writes down. The ship left the African coast heavy with human cargo. Prisoners taken by force, packed into darkness below deck. I avoided going near them at first. Not because I didn't hear them, but because once you see something, changes you. The officers told us to think of them as numbers. Cargo. Wait, but numbers don't cry at night. The first time I went below deck, the air hit me like a wall. Heat. Brut. Human breath stacked on human breath. Bodies chained close together, men, women, children, all pressed into darkness so thick it felt solid. Their eyes followed me, not begging, watching, like they were trying to memorize my face, in case they never saw another human again. I wanted to leave immediately, but the hatch closed above me, and I learned something then. A ship doesn't carry prisoners. A ship becomes a prison. Time lost meaning at sea. Days melted into nights. Nights bled into days. The ship creaked endlessly, wood complaining under the weight of suffering. People fell ill. Some stopped speaking. Some stopped moving. When someone died below deck, we were told to remove the body quickly. No ceremony. No pause. Just lift, drag, throw. Each splash into the sea sounded final, like the ocean closing a book. One morning, I noticed something strange. No shouting. Usually at dawn, guards barked orders. Prisoners groaned as chains shifted. That morning, quiet. I told myself it was a blessing. I was wrong. I went below deck to check. The lantern revealed bodies pressed together, too still. Eyes open, mouths frozen mid-breath. The illness had swept through faster than anyone expected. I climbed back up, shaking. The officer listened, then said words I will never forget. We don't turn back for ghosts. After that, the crew began to change. Men stopped joking, stopped eating. One sailor swore he heard voices at night, whispers rising from the hold even after it was empty. Another jumped overboard without a word. The captain locked himself in his cabin. Orders became rare. And then, one morning, I woke up alone. I shouted. No response. I searched every corner. Crew quarters, empty. Captain's cabin, empty. Below deck, nothing but chains and shadows. No blood. No struggle. Just absence. The ship drifted slowly, sails loose, like a body after the soul has left. That's when panic set in. Not loud panic. Quiet panic. The kind that crawls into your head and stays. I began speaking out loud. First, to stay sane. Then, because the silence answered back. I heard footsteps at night. Felt eyes on me. I told myself it was memory. Echoes. But memory doesn't breathe on your neck. I found the ledger by accident. Water damaged. Stained. A list of names. Crew. Prisoners. Deaths. And there it was. Written in faded ink. My name. Marked as deceased. I stared at it for a long time, then laughed. Because if the book said I was dead, then who was still walking this ship? Days passed. Or weeks. I stopped counting. I slept in the captain's cabin. Ate alone. Dreamed of waves swallowing me whole. Sometimes I thought I heard the ship turning. Choosing a direction. Like it wanted something from me. Land appeared on the horizon, one morning. I cried. But when I tried to steer toward it, the rudder wouldn't respond. The ship refused. That's when I understood. This vessel was not meant to arrive. It was meant to wander. With me inside it, I stood at the rail and spoke to the ocean. Apologized. Not just for my part, but for everything. The chains, the silence, the forgetting. The sea did not forgive. It only listened. I found a rope. I found a knife. 2 endings. Neither heroic. Just human. I sat for a long time, thinking of names no one would remember, including mine. I opened the ledger one last time, and added a line. Last witness. That night, the ship shifted. Just slightly, like it had been waiting. If someone finds this ship, know this: I was not brave. I was not good. I was not a hero. I was only alive. And sometimes, that is the heaviest burden of all. The first thing you notice is the silence. Not peace. Not calm. A wrong kind of silence. The ship no longer groans. No creaking wood. No footsteps above. No coughing from below. You stand alone on the deck, barefoot, the boards cold under your skin. The sails hang limp. The ocean around you is flat. Too flat. You wait for a shout. Curse. An order. Nothing comes. You whisper, "Hello." Your voice sounds shusha, foreign, like it doesn't belong to you anymore. You walk toward the bow. No one. You run below deck. The smell hits first. Then the truth. Every body is still. Not sleeping. Not resting. Still. You count without meaning to. 1, 2, 10, 50. You stop counting. Because numbers don't matter anymore. You are alone on a ship that was never meant to carry silence. And in that moment you understand something terrifying. The ship did not stop moving. The world did. Days pass. Or maybe hours. You lose track. You begin talking to the walls. At first it's practical. I'll check the water next. I should fix that rope. Then it changes. You ask questions. Did you hear that? Do you think the wind will return? You answer yourself. Sometimes you hear replies that aren't there. Sometimes you argue with shadows. At night, you sit beside the hatch and speak softly, not to remember them, but to feel less alone. The ship creaks once. You flinch. Your heart races. Then nothing. Silence again. You realize something worse than death. Silence teaches you to invent company. You find supplies. Hard bread. Dried meat. Rainwater in barrels. You eat slowly. Every bite feels stolen. Not because it belongs to someone else, but because you are the only one left to take it. You chew and stare at the horizon. You imagine eyes watching you, judging. The dead do not forgive. They only remember. You stop eating halfway. You apologize out loud. I didn't choose this. The ocean does not respond, but the waves feel closer. One morning you lean over the side of the ship. Your reflection stares back. You barely recognize it. Your eyes look older, sharper, hollow. You touch your face. You whisper your own name. It sounds wrong, as if it belongs to someone who died days ago. You laugh suddenly. Then you stop, because the sound frightens you. You realize something slowly, carefully. If no one else is alive, who are you surviving for? The wind returns, weak, uncertain. The ship moves again. Not toward land. Not away. Just forward. You stop trying to control it. You follow the ship the way a shadow follows a body. You sleep when your body collapses. You wake when the cold demands it. You stop hoping for rescue. Hope requires witnesses. You only want the ship to keep moving, because if it stops again, you're not sure you will.